Welcome everybody to my top 10 best survival anime. What do you think of when you hear the word survival? You have in mind,
yeah, like Battle Royale, Hunger Games type, right?
Or do you think more,
well, surviving in the wild?
It could be either, or both. But to clear things out, I decided to focus purely on one of the two types. This video is going to be the Don't Die in the Wild edition. If you're slightly disappointed, not to worry, I've made a simultaneous list exactly dedicated on the Battle Royale aspect that you can pick and watch if that's more your speed. Think of this top 10 survival anime like Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. Each list will have exclusive entries, but we're talking about roughly the same thematic here, just different execution. If you want the Bear Grylls edition, you're in the right place. My name is Misty / Chronexia, and I'm here with my top 10 favorite surviving anime, asterisk. At this point, you know I play by my own rules, so there may be more than 10, but we'll squeeze that nicely as double entries. It'll make sense, don't worry. Let's go! First off, whenever it comes down to top 10 lists that I do, I always exclude anime movies. In this case though, there are two ones that I'd like to do a quick shout out to. King of Thorns and Gyo Tokyo Fish Attack. These aren't particularly well rated by fans for one main reason, that they both share. The two movies start off very strong but become a chaotic mess later on. Their conclusion is a bit asinine. King of Thorn is a story about people going inside a castle for an experiment, and when they wake up, the place is overtaken by thorny vines. Not the video kind, the plant kind. Gyo is about a murdering robotic fish invasion that swarms the world. The best parallel thinking I can think of is zombie-like invasion pandemic. Again, a very good premise on both of these, with an unsatisfying ending, but if you're more of the journey rather than destination kind of person, I'd still recommend them to be seen at some point. Or, you know, let's move on to the actual list. Number 10, Jiyosei or Uncharted Walker. Still with my double entry shenanigans, two very obscure anime not a lot of people talk about, and therefore very unlikely people have seen them. Jiyosei is an anime about two orphan twins who go on an interplanetary voyage after their parents got murdered. They land on a new hostile world where there's carnivorous plants and some remotely primitive tribes. They must adapt to this new environment to try and leave the planet. On the other hand, you have Uncharted Walker, a story about an odd group of people who ends up on a desolated island that has a lot of, again, primitive tribes and mutant viruses. Honestly, the two anime go so well together. If you liked one, you'll love the other one. Uncharted Walker does have a Mandarin dub only, so that can need a little bit of getting used to, but definitely don't let it stop you from watching the show. Number 9, Sword Art Online. I guess for the sake of acknowledgement, I should include Sword Art Online. It fits the category, and in the off chance this video is your very beginning introduction to anime, they do the surviving in a hostile environment trope quite the justice it deserves. People are still pretty divided on SAO. Personally, I stand on the I don't really care ground, so I'll let you be the judge of that and just tell you about the premise instead, because that's my job. Young teenage boy has been playing a brand new kind of game that uploads his conscience into the game itself, VR style. He's been playtesting the game for a while, you know how early access be, and when the game officially launched on day one, everyone is locked in the game without the possibility to log off, or getting unplugged. I mean, technically you can, you'll just die. Bit of a cockblock, I agree. SAO could have been in the Battle Royale list, but truthfully, the PvP aspect is kind of minimal. It's more about trying to not die as a whole. This franchise is super popular again, so I'm sure this is nothing new and you already have your opinion made up, so let's get to the next one. Number 8. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Cabaneri is a somewhat steampunkish anime about people living in a fortress with the only way in or out being on a train. Outside these walls live several demon-like folks of the undead kind, but they're not quite typical zombies. Anyway, a group of fighters needs to escort that payload, and you follow these guys on their missions. This anime kind of got the Madoka Magica treatment, meaning you can either watch the entire TV show, which is 12 episodes, or pick up the 2 movies they made that recap the full story, and then a 3rd movie adds some extra content. My recommendation is to skip the series as a whole and go straight in with the trilogy of movies, but you know, you do you, boo. Number 7. High School of the Dead and School Life. So if you wanted a proper zombie apocalypse-like anime and neither Cabaneri or Gyo Tokyo Fish Attack scratched that itch properly for you, then it is time for me to pull out the big gun. Don't worry, I came prepared. Akimbo, baby. On the left, High School of the Dead. Very high octane, get from point A to point B. No fuss, no muss, just a lot of blood and people trying to not get bit, shot, or infected. Or all 3, preferably. On the right, I have School Life, a story about a group of girls who get holed up in a school during a zombie outbreak. While one of them is mentally checked out and in denial, the other girls try to supply for themselves in this apocalyptic chaos. If you've seen both, then you are what we call professionally in this business, shit out of luck. Number 6, Infinite Reviews. Ah yes, the odd anime on this list from the late 90s. Obscure enough to make people skip this entry, but good enough to still warrant a spot on here. Infinite Reviews is a story about a group of people aboard a space station. After a team of saboteurs decides to steer the station into harm's way, all of the adults on board get killed and only the teen survives. Kind of like that scene in the movie Ghost Ship with the wire that slices the people dancing in half, except that little girl, because she was too short to get hit by the wire. Look it up, it's fucking gruesome. 5 minutes into the film, give or take. Anyway, now these guys must try to make their way back home while also dealing with the saboteur. It's a nice show overall. Number 5. Uninhabited Planet Survive and Sonan Deska. Lost on an island. If Uncharted Walker didn't work out for you because it was too dark, or too Chinese because you're secretly racial, I don't know. Uninhabited Planet Survive might interest you. As the title implies, it's a story about a group of kids who goes on a school trip, and after a gravity storm, they get stranded on a brand new planet. A bit more recent than Reviews, but both kind of have a similar thematic. If the stranded on an island plot interests you, but you can't be bothered to watch a long anime about it, then I strongly, so very strongly recommend you check out Sonan Deska. It's a must-watch. A comedy about 4 girls who, after a plane crash, get lost on an island. One of the girls is like a Girl Scout or something. Anyway, they learn to survive with the limited resource they have. Terrific show. Don't let its poor score discourage you on my anime list. People are a fucking idiot and they don't realize it's a gem. It's actually really good. Number 4. Tokyo Magnitude 8.0. As a dad, I think watching this anime now would hit me way more than it did when I first saw it. Of course, by the title alone, I'm sure you must be able to piece it together, what is happening. But still, let me give you the actual synopsis. Story begins with a sister and her younger brother, 13 and 8, if I recall. Their relationship is a little bit abrasive at the beginning. Sister is tasked at babysitting her brother, and he wants to go to the robot museum. And she doesn't, but they go anyway, and while they're there, ground is struck by an 8.0 Richter scale earthquake. Big building collapsed, they got split apart, and the sister's guilt start eating her up because she feels like it's her fault. Anyway, really powerful story about a catastrophe and the aftermath that follows it. Ending a little bit predictable, at least it was for me, but if you're not the type to like predicting stuff, maybe it'll surprise you. I still strongly recommend it.
なんだろう、人としてなんてね。
Number 3, Kanata no Astra. No, I refuse to shut up about this anime. I'm on a fucking crusade and I will not rest until the entire world has seen this godforsaken show. Give it 3 episodes, right about now. I don't even care if you stop watching my video to pick up this anime instead. That's how dedicated I am to gospel this show. The story is about a group of teenagers who goes on a mandatory school trip. Science is pretty advanced, so instead of going to your local forest harvesting mushroom, they are sent on an interplanetary voyage. When they land there, they find a disturbing sphere that swallows them and spits them out in space. They then found an abandoned ship, but one of the students is kinda drifting away. Sincerely, an outstanding anime with cliffhangers every episode. A really well thought out and complete story from start to finish. And again, I'll never shut up about it. So you take that L and watch it to join my army so we can make everyone else watch it too.
間に合った。あいつ自分に自信持ちすぎなのよ。
この5年越しの思いをゆずりはに伝える。
Number 2, Dr. Stone. Yeah, seriously. I realize that this doesn't really come off as a proper surviving in the wild type and more of a civilization building type management, but if you stop to think about it, it fits. The story begins in your everyday life until a giant energy swipe the world and turn everyone into stone. Several millennium later, a selected few emerges from the stones and they must find a way to bring back civilization to its prosperity through sticks and stones. Senku, an incredibly smart teenage student, is at the core of the situation, and with his knowledge, he tries to create all the technological advancement to rush back the golden age. This show is more of an unconventional battle type of shonen anime, but it turns captivating quite fast when you see him find the ingredients or craft some new items. It's basically Minecraft the anime edition.
おお、めっぽうたくさんついてるぞ。怪しげな黒い砂だ。
やつだ。巨人だ。
And finally, the number 1 spot belongs to Attack on Titan. Just like Sword Art Online, I very much so doubt this inclusion surprises anyone. As far as surviving in an hostile environment goes, Attack on Titan's pretty much the staple landmark. A story about a civilization trapped within 3 layers of walls and having to live without any freedom because outside of these walls roam giants, lovingly called Titans. They are both deadly and hungry, and since there's no McDonald's around, they resort to eating people. Anyone crazy enough to adventure outside of these walls tends to mysteriously never come back. There's a big mystery around the phenomenon, and in the middle of it all is Eren, a sour kid who has the ability to turn into a titan himself. Crazy story with fine-tuned attention to details. There was philosophy, politics, military tactics. It's a whole package, and personally, my draw for the best anime we got in the last decade. There's 1 season left to go, but you should definitely pick it up if you've never gotten around to it yet. It'll be magnificent. Once again, this is a double featured video. I strongly urge you to check out its sister video in the top 10 best survival anime, Battle Royale edition. Both videos will be uploaded at the same time with info cards relating to each other. It's my first time trying something like this. Usually I just make it a top 20 or whatever, but I figured they both deserve their standalone video. And also the ad money is kind of welcome, you know? So let me know what you think. I would appreciate the feedback. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment about the fact I left out the anime Another, because that's gonna be brought up a bunch by anyone salty about it. And give me some of that licky licky boom boom action. And I'll catch you guys next time.
I've been to the hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.